How you doing, kids? So I wanted to briefly discuss the difference between uh, canceling and censorship. They're not even remotely the same thing. The two do not equate. Um, if you cancel someone, they're just done. Period. End of discussion. But as we look at pretty much everyone who's been canceled, Joe Rogan, Rosie O'Donnell, fuck, oh, what's his name from Two and a Half Men? Charlie Sheen. These people, they've all been canceled and they're back making record amounts of money, which I think is partially why cancel culture has failed. Um, but if you look at what canceling actually means, it's about accountability. When someone gets canceled, it's an attempt to hold them accountable for something they did or said. Now, if you were to look at things that I said 10 years ago, as I can't remember the band. Hang on. Oh man, 1 second, please. They're canceling you lyrics. Oh, Zombified by Falling Reverse. Some where they get it totally wrong, complaining that people are being canceled for something they said 10 years ago. These people are being canceled for something they said and profited from and still profit from. Sure, 10 years ago. And that's where I think Falling in Reverse gets it wrong, as much as I do enjoy their music. But there is the occasional instance where canceling gets it wrong. It doesn't happen too terribly often, fortuitously, as far as I've seen, but in my experience, it gets it wrong. And when I say in my experience, I mean personally. So some of you may remember about roughly a year ago, I stopped doing the YouTube thing. Wasn't for no reason. Uh, I, at the time, was trying to help someone who was in desperate need. And despite this person needing the help that they received from me, I was canceled in a way because I had the audacity to step in directly myself. I don't have a whole lot of ways to step in for people. Actually, I only have one. And funnily enough, my mother understood because she allowed me to take this person in and keep them around for a year or so. I get canceling when it's deserved. I really do. Yeah, you want to cancel Jake Rowling for deserves it. She absolutely does. You want to cancel UFC fighters for saying transphobic shit, knock yourself out. I'm happy. These are people that deserve it because they're being held accountable for shitty views. But I keep someone from being homeless. I dare stand in the way of religiosity and the harm it causes, and I get canceled. No. With that, we have a misappropriation of cancel culture, and that's kind of a fucking problem. It's a huge problem. But that's not going to stop some people. Because it's easy to say you're being anti-theist, despite the way it's being used being a complete and total fucking misnomer. Who cares that anti-theism actually is a form of anti-harm? Harm which is constantly fucking caused by religion. But no, let's protect religion because, well, some people believe, and those people aren't shitty. I personally know plenty of religious people who aren't shitty, and yet I remain anti-theist staunchly because I believe it to be right, because I recognize the harm that religion causes. Canceling does not necessarily equate to consequence. And that's the point of this entire live stream. And I apologize for the hamster who is super active right now. Although she lives here and you don't. Actually, which hamster is this? Mabel Dipper. I don't remember this one's name. But she lives here and you don't. It is almost 100% my experience that religion is harmful. Pretty much every experience I've had in my life has led me to this decision that religion is harmful. That's why I'm an anti-theist. I am not against the religious person. I have a lot of religious friends, and I don't find them to be harmful. It's the religious people, or the religion, I should say, I'm sorry, that I find to be harmful. When I was Catholic, I would have said it's totally benign. Despite the loss of money, time, energy, sorry. The bigotry that follows. I was a huge fucking bigot as a Catholic. That's a period end of discussion kind of thing. I was well on my way to being a person who's more of an egalitarian, and I mean that in the good way, who looked at people and what they do and not necessarily things they follow. I was more hopeful as a child. Let's put it that way. But then my parents decided that they weren't going to have an atheist child because that's not okay. Which led me to the harmful bigot I was. I was the harmful bigot who marched on Washington for the pro-life parade or whatever the fuck it's called. I spent hours upon hours in church. I spent money that actually didn't belong to me on church. But Catholicism is benign. Sure. Religion's benign. I was at this past year's Pride Festival in my hometown, the third or fourth that it's ever had. And protesters, counter protesters, I should say, to the Pride Festival got violent without consequence because of their Christianity. But it's benign. I would say I feel mean right now, but I don't. Honestly, I'm pulling my punches. Religion is harm, period. End of discussion. And anyone who claims otherwise, I don't know if they're my friend. Now, that's not to say people can't be theistic and be my friend. I have plenty of theist friends that I actually do consider friends because they fight on the side of secularism. They don't believe that religion should take part in governance or literally any aspect of social life because they recognize that it's personal. I don't know. I got nothing. On the whole, I recognize I'm in the minority. And I was, I think, wrongly canceled for it. And as I've said, the vast majority of people I think who have been canceled were rightly canceled because of things they said and did in the past that caused harm, things they profited from. I have no platform. Realistically, I have fewer than 600 followers on YouTube, maybe a couple thousand on Twitter who don't interact with me to begin with. Honestly, I would be better served by starting DoorDash Twitter dedicated to my DoorDash YouTube channel. Will be better served starting Twitter page dedicated to my casual beer drinker channel because let's face it, those will be far less controversial. Their reach will be so much farther. but a fucked part of me wants to stay on this page. I want to kick Beelzebub back up. I really do. This was my passion. Beelzebub started as a passion project. When I began it, I wasn't more passionate about anything else in my life. It just hadn't happened. And I get some polytheist fucks that decide that I'm not worth the time, and because they mooched off of other people's clout, I have to go? A cancel doesn't equal consequence, although it should. It really should. But you have larger platforms, people with larger platforms going against people with smaller ones. And what do the smaller platforms have? What options do we have but to fold? How outnumbered are we? Now, I know there are shitty people out there that are going to take what I have to say and twist it in a way that I definitely don't mean. But a year ago, I was wrongly canceled. All because I had the audacity to stand against religion. Organized, harmful religion. I stood against it. And that was a problem. Because even though I stood against Catholicism, which is arguably one of the largest monotheistic religions on the planet, it didn't matter. What's up, Godless Scummer? Thanks for joining. Didn't matter. All because Jen, Dragon Queen, Ocean Keltoy, and Wolf the Red, or Red the Wolf, whatever the fuck that dumbass's name is, decided I was an addict. And they put work that I don't know if I've ever seen come against me. And a year later, people still act like they're good people. And I don't get it. Tell you one thing. If I actually start making content on this channel again, I'm going to be a mean motherfucker. I'm going to stop pulling my punches. I'm going to hit literally as hard as I can. I'm going to be out for blood. People who remember my old way know that I tried to be even-handed. I'm not going to play that game anymore because no one's playing it with me. I lost my platform and my channel because of them. Because for whatever reason, I decided a YouTube fight wasn't worth it. No. I'm going to be mean now. If I can hurt someone who hurt me, I'm going to hurt them. And the 3 people I mentioned are the primary motherfuckers that I want to cause pain to. But I'm the bad person. Wait until the bad man puts his energies to being the bad person you said I am. Good luck.